This is a fucking mess where we bite the YouTube meta and start doing tier lists. If this ends up on the deep web, I'm gonna be pissed.
No skills.
Hi everyone, my name's Siegelin, and today, I don't know what we're doing. Here are my co-hosts, TheDravo.
What's up?
And B-Sapper.
Hello there.
Yo, my guy reminds me of Killer Mike, and I don't know why. Anyways, I
You got a problem with Killer Mike?
No, I don't. I got home 5 minutes ago, and Mikey said to me, hey, I got a dumb idea, and I said, let me heat up my burrito. And here we are.
You had a burrito? I thought you had steak.
There's a steak burrito.
No, it's a breakfast burrito, actually.
It's 6 o'clock.
It's fucking like 6.
Why do you have a breakfast burrito at 6?
Because we live in California. It's an option.
Okay.
Alright, fair enough.
Oh, this episode's gonna be a travesty. Buckle up, folks.
Yo, can we do a burrito tier list next week?
Oh my god. Later.
Next thing you know, it's gonna be like a fucking Mexican food tier list.
Dude,
I'm down. I'm
we would
ready.
never finish. That would be a 10-hour.
That'd be mess.
Anyways, I see controllers in front of me. Are we rating controllers? Is that what we're doing?
If we are rating controllers.
Been on a nostalgia kick. Been running through the emulators, playing some old school games, and why not, dude? Controllers are the most important part of gaming because the difference between mouse and keyboard versus a controller is night and day. Can you imagine this brick that we call the Duke against a sleek PS5 controller? It ain't even the same contest.
You know, you're not entirely wrong, and I'm going to kick this tier list off by just saying it. Joy-Con, Deej tier. And yes, I'm calling it Deej tier. Joy-Con are the worst things I've ever held in my life.
Yeah, I gotta agree. These things right here are definitely tier 2.
I don't care that they have a million and one accessories. These things suck.
They don't track well. They're made like crap. They're uncomfortable shit to hold if you're above the age of 7.
Yeah, and that's because you don't know any better.
Yes, hey, seriously. Actually, Darvo, can we get to edit that little wheel on the right side and make that last one Deej tier?
Yeah, can we change this to Deej tier? I feel like this is... By the way, shout out to Deej if you're watching. Sucks you can't be here, loser.
It's fucking... I wish.
I wish.
Hold on.
Anyways.
Is there a way?
Yeah. Is there a way?
Edit text right there. There you go. There you go.
Hey, Deej
yeah, folks.
tier.
Deej. There you go.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm so glad that we did that. I feel better now. I feel like he's here.
I do too. He's still alive.
Now he's not just messaging us during recordings. What's up?
I'm still mad that Joy-Cons exist. I'm sorry. That's
That's fair. They're overpriced. They're brittle as all hell. Like Joy-Cons.
I swear to God, man. They get stick drift so easily.
Yeah, dude, Joy-Cons are a part of my top 3 worst controllers of all time, and Mikey knows what one of my other ones is.
I have N64 controllers that I bought when I was young that have less stick drift than a fucking brand new Joy-Con.
Big facts.
All this tier list, sorry, I just get this out there. All this tier list is missing is the chainsaw controller.
I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
That's the next tier list when we do every controller, including variants. We're gonna have Guitar Hero controllers. We're gonna have DDR pads. We're gonna have the
keyboard for fucking typing.
Donkey Kong drums.
Donkey Kong drums.
The Congo drums. Let's go.
All right. I'm sorry. This right here.
I'm still mad.
I say this is S tier.
Yes, it is. You know why? Because we're American and they train the military with them. Shout out.
Shut up, fucking military.
It's the only controller that normally fits my gorilla grip hands.
That's true. And they're slender enough that my tiny hands can fit around the base of them pretty well. You should see me play fighting games on them, Brandon. I play left-hand base, right-hand claw, like on a 360 controller. It's so odd.
It pisses me off so much. We go to tournaments and people are looking at him and they're like, "Was he in an accident? Does his hand not work right?" And I'm like, "No, he's just like that.
He's different."
Motherfucker built different.
Built stupid.
I'm gonna just also throw this out there. I think this should just go S tier as well because there's no difference. They're the same controller.
They're smoother, so I would say
A.
I want to say S. I feel like they respond way better than other stuff.
They do respond better.
I firmly believe. Actually, come over here. I can give you the comparison between one of those and the Duke.
You know what? Never mind. I'm good. Let's throw it in S. Yo, while we're here, can we throw the Duke in F or in Deej? Can we throw the Duke in Deej, please?
Hell yeah. Like it.
Okay.
I mean, I love the Duke. I love the novelty of it, but God, it's awful.
Hold up, I'm gonna hold mine.
Laugh, but that's it. Yo, shout out to the Duke. You paved the way for everything, but boy, did you suck.
Oh, guys, can you hear that? That's the click on the Duke buttons.
Jeez, man.
It's like typing on a flip phone.
That shit might as well be a typewriter.
I would prefer a typewriter.
Dude, holding a Duke, I have big hands. I think DJ could only realistically comfortably use this.
That's also why I didn't like the Duke. I couldn't fucking hold one properly. Like
same. But it also could have been because I was a fucking child. But still, even today, I don't think it'd be good.
I can't do it.
I'm a grown ass man and it doesn't fit. My fingers have to really stretch for the R1 and R2. Or L.
There
Bumpers.
You go.
Plus,
there you go.
Plus, let's be real. When it comes to these two, especially if you want to use them for like your PC, these are the best right here.
Honestly.
Excuse me. I use my Duke exclusively on the PC because that way, if I beat someone with mouse and keyboard, I live screen it, and they're equally more offended and disgusted.
I still wonder how PC players would feel if they learned that they were shot to death in Hunt Showdown with a Duke.
I do that on the X. Dude, okay, I will say this: the Duke is so
Xbox
smooth for Hunt Showdown.
Oh,
It's so good. Oh my god, give me my Sparks with the long scope. Oh, I got you from up to 300 yards. Get the fuck out of here.
4.2 KD just got shot with a Duke.
This man got a dead eye with the Duke.
Oh, please don't say. He plays on like half a sensitivity as well.
Oh yeah, it's sexy on the Duke. It's smooth like butter. That shit's nice.
I live with this man, Darvo. I really genuinely do, and I don't know how.
Audience, we're only on our fourth choice, and we're already at each other's throats. This is great.
Does anyone have any opinions on the next one? Because I genuinely don't care.
I'm gonna say beer. Or B.
Beer? Beer? Can we rename it to beer?
Are we just renaming tiers?
Alright, sure. Rename it to beer tier.
We got beer tier.
Oh shit. Didn't want to do that.
Hit enter again.
Yep. Beer.
Okay, I have jokes, but I don't think I can say them. Does anyone else have any other suggestions? Specifically Darvo.
Why me?
Apex, for sure.
Apex.
Okay, I have S, if anyone else doesn't have a suggestion.
What is S?
Slammin'.
Slamming.
Okay, it do be slamming then.
It do be slamming though. We gotta admit, 360 controller, it do be slamming though.
It do be slamming.
It do be slamming. What about C? Come on.
I don't know, Czechoslovakia?
No, come on.
Because let's be honest, nothing is going in C tier.
How about children? Because that's the controller you can only love if you're a child.
Okay, we're going the Dreamcast then.
Hey.
Are we sure we want to make it children? Are we sure there's anything else?
I don't know, is a hitbox in here? Because then we can put cheese.
Cheese tier.
Cheese, alright.
Oh my god, we got cheese and Deej.
I was taking a drink.
Oh,
Chesse?
That's much wrong. I'm sorry.
Autocorrect couldn't even save this man.
He's thinking about it. Hold up.
I'm fucking just dying.
Just put a Z. It's fine. Just put a Z. Just put a Z.
Ches. Why not? I'm taking. I'm fucking dead. Whatever.
I feel I bring such solace to my soul that I know that's not getting cut out.
Okay.
Anyways, this
So-
controller.
I have a reasoning for B tier, because as simple and as like unwieldy as it was, if you clawed, I know I gave you shit about it. If you clawed this controller, you were setting Mario speedruns, like cleanly. It was good. It worked well for it.
I have no opinion on this. My only experience is playing in retro arcades with them, and never in a home situation. So I'm just like, whatever.
I can't. It's kind of hard for me to say anything on this one because when I held these controllers, I was still a toddler. We're talking kindergarten to mid first grade, so it's hard to remember how these felt. All I remember is playing Super Mario on them.
I played at Denio's a few months ago, and the guy got really mad at me when I beat World 1-1 in 26.7 seconds.
Damn.
That's not that impressive. World record's like 13. I'm like,
Yeah.
Are we looking like a B, C?
I call it a B.
A beer? Alright.
It was clunky, but it had a few tricks to it.
I guess. Yeah.
I have unpopular opinions about this next controller, but what do you guys think first?
Unpopular. I think it's the only opinion.
I hate that thing.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Get it in Deej. No, put it in
These.
cheese. It doesn't deserve Deej. Put it in cheese.
Cheese.
Put it in cheese. As a PlayStation controller, because that's a PS3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, worst controller I've ever held in my life. Gotta
They're
say it.
too small. That big button in the middle is hazardous when you're like getting carried away. And I don't know why. They feel like a cheaper knockoff of a PS2 controller. I don't know how they downgraded.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay, real quick. Let's be real. We're looking at A to S here for the PS2.
Certified
Slamming. Yeah.
Slamming.
Certified slamming though.
Like, come on.
When you
There's
can
no
pick it up
question.
after 15 years of not holding one and remember how everything is supposed to feel by muscle memory alone, that's a good controller.
Honestly, when your carpal tunnel develops in a very specific way because you're up until 4 a.m. every day playing something on a PS2, that's how you know it was a legit controller.
I can still. I got one in arm's reach, but I know where my hands need to be.
Like, me and Mikey haven't played on legitimate PS2 controllers while playing MVC2 in years. We got on it like a couple weeks ago and we were already like touching deathing each other because we just know there's a way to a PS2 controller, and that way is slamming.
That way is slamming.
Slamming. Like, I've just seen this controller. It brings back memories of me and my friends in my living room in front of a big TV playing Mortal Kombat Armageddon, just slamming each other to the ground.
See, slamming.
Slamming.
He said the
Slamming.
Word.
Picking Blaze with his easy 1-2 grapple that just bodies people.
Fucking got Blaze. We got Meat. Someone picks Onaga for some reason.
Okay.
Hey, that was Adrian.
Player, I liked Onaga. Shut up.
You were better with me than with Meat though.
Yeah, but it's because Meat was fucking good.
Meat was too good. There's a reason he's not the franchise anymore.
How about
I mean,
Mocap?
To me, it's canon that Meat took over Mocap and then he took over someone else. I don't know who, but he's somewhere up there.
I like the
He's
ending where
probably Scorpion.
Mocap dies and becomes a constellation and everybody's just cool with it.
I mean,
That's a
yeah.
canon ending. I think that's Armageddon's ending.
Well, to be fair, every ending's canon. It's just that, they also never happen, so...
They all reset the multiverse.
I don't want to think about that story.
Oh my god.
The original multiverse of madness.
Why they ever change it, I don't know. But whatever. Let's move on.
Moving on.
Okay. Now,
I have no opinions on these. I have never touched these.
I have opinions on
second-
one of them. Yep.
Okay.
Sega Genesis.
Go. What's your opinion?
Do we have the same opinion, Mikey? Because I feel like we do.
I am a little torn on this one
Really?
because it's nostalgia. The first console I ever played that wasn't like ours was a Sega Genesis that I had to stay up with our cousins until like 2 a.m. because we weren't allowed to play video games past 4, but only after 3:45 because it was that kind of household. and Golden Axe, Sonic the Hedgehog, Comic Zone, Kid Chameleon, 2 of which I bought today for my fucking high-end gaming PC with a 3060 for $1 a piece. I don't know. I'm in love with those. I could see the control and think it's perfect, but that's probably pure nostalgia.
I have a somewhat similar answer in the way that I love the way the buttons feel. They feel disgusting, and I love that. It feels like a true and honest 80s controller, and I genuinely appreciate that. It was honest. It wasn't trying to sell you on the next gen. It was a button that was stiff and didn't feel like it pushed down all the way, but you know it did. And I appreciate that. I respect that. I understand that.
I have a question for you.
Ah.
Which variant did you like? The concave or the convex? Like in or out?
I preferred the I don't think I've ever used an Audi actually, now that I think about it.
I don't like them. I like the indent. I like the grip your thumb gets on it when there's a nice indent for it to slide into.
Because it's already an awkward shape, so it kind of helps having that little ridge, you know what I mean?
It stops you from going over to the next button.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever used an Audi. That's weird.
I want to say Apex because I want to put it slamming, but I know that's just nostalgia.
I wouldn't put it slamming, but I would say Apex or beer. So I think Apex is probably the medium here.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Apex, got it.
Now this next one, I could just never figure out how to hold it. I'll be honest.
It looks uncomfortable. It looks weird.
It's so similar to the previous one. They're almost identical. But
but you can't claw.
Right. The grip's
the
not
spacing's
right.
wrong.
What I will say is it does have a dip in the buttons, so I respect the hell out of that. I think that is super comfy.
Fair, but for me, I think because I have smaller hands, I couldn't really claw it unless I was like doing a spider walk, but I couldn't really hold it and use my thumb at this. It was bizarre. I had to do this weird little feng shui where my index was kind of resting on the edge of the controller at all times if I needed to do something in a hurry. It was weird. I don't know.
I like this one. The only thing I didn't like was the turbo switch placement, which I don't know if you guys could see it. It's at the very top right.
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember never touching it.
It's so stupid to put it right there.
No, shout out controllers that have turbo switches on them. You're the real ones.
Honestly, I want to say B. Adrian, how about you?
I'm fine with that. I don't know that I would put it any higher than beer, but
I couldn't in good conscience put it higher than beer.
Yeah, because I definitely wouldn't put it cheese.
Because honestly, I've never held this controller, but on first glance, it looks awkward. The grips themselves already look like something I'd have difficulty holding.
Yeah, like because you look at it. When you look at a controller, you can be like, "Oh, I kind of have to adjust this way." You look at this, and you're just like, "What the fuck?" It's worse than like a Wii U controller.
Speaking of, I want to put this in Deej.
I'm okay with this because I don't like the Wii U as a concept.
Now this right here is just not it for me.
This is certified not slamming though. Like
I
genuinely.
felt the Wii U was such a waste of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Agree.
Is it crazy to think that things like the DS and the Wonder Swan made better use of like the functional screens that tilted and moved and did like crazy out of the box shit than a console that was made around a fucking 8-inch version of that screen?
Right?
Shit, there was games for the DS that literally made use of the mic where you had to blow into the mic for something to happen. I was like, dude, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
you know, the 64 did that too, right?
Did it? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes. I think so.
Shit, cool. That's great. A function that only Nintendo probably have ever used.
Yeah, honestly.
Because why else would you?
In the 90s, they came out with a game called Hey You Pikachu, and it came with a mic that you would talk into. And
you're right.
You could air
right.
quote praise Pikachu, but it was more of like your 9-year-old yelling at him, Pikachu, get the ball! Pikachu, drain! Pikachu, sleep! And it just chaos in every household.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, that you say, I remember hearing about Hey You Pikachu. Oh my god.
It kills me that the last time I took one of my buddies to an anime convention, he went to the swap meet and he found a memory card, a copy of Hey You Pikachu, and the actual microphone itself, and it tripped me out because
Wow.
the memory card of the microphone he bought at the swap meet for like $5 for the pair.
Which is insane. A memory card alone is ridiculously expensive.
They're like $40 for an okay condition one, and that's bare bones. That's not modified.
And
that's
okay
not
condition
restored.
on those memory cards is a loose term. It'll
They
have
got
dog
bite
bites in
marks.
it. Yeah, it'll have bite marks in it. You kind of hope it's a dog, actually, now that I think about
Dude, I'm thinking, are you in my head?
it. Me and Mikey have seen some ones that it just looks like, was someone teething on this? Like,
I'm just gonna
what
throw it out
happened?
there. Fuck that kid. Anthony, stop chewing on your goddamn memory cards.
I think we should move on to the next controller.
Yeah, we should.
I would get my ass kicked.
Now, these are the same but different. It's definitely it's PS1. What a console right there. What a console. But
I'm just
So-
gonna say it. I like sticks.
yeah, sticks were the best thing that they did. I don't remember. It's a very long time ago. Was the no sticks one like the first iteration of it?
I don't know. We were that kind of family that had both of them at the same time. So
I believe, and somebody could correct me on this. I believe the no sticks was the first gen, but it wasn't something released here in the States right away. I think we got those after as a reduced cost version. I could be totally wrong because I actually have tournament controllers from that era, and they're sticks with that sharp slanted base. PS, it's crazy. We actually had a relative who worked for Sony at that time, and that's where we got our controllers. They totally fell off the back of
'Cause-
a truck.
yeah.
Thanks,
Because I never had a PS1. I had
Yeah,
a
no.
cousin that he used to hang out with, and he had one. He had both of these, but he also had two of these stick ones, so we never used this no stick controller.
So if
Really?
you bought one, it came with the sticks.
Yeah, and so he got another one, and then I think this one came in from like a relative that didn't know what they were doing, kind of Christmas gift kind of thing.
Yeah.
But-
One time
Exactly the pack you're talking about.
Yeah. So this right here is all I have for reference, and this is basically it's basically a PS2 controller, but less responsive, and it'd feel a little clunky, but still good.
they were durable as all hell, though.
Oh,
I'll give you
yeah.
points for that.
Yo,
Like
yes.
like it's not slamming. I'd say like Apex. How about
I
you
put
guys?
it at Apex because
I'm
I've
fine
seen
with
an 8-year-old and a 40-year-old man throw that controller, plug it back in, and it still works.
We've played with those controllers that were missing the bottoms, and you can see the rotors in them. Still work like a dream.
But this one right here, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I want to say Deej.
I was looking at like Ches or Deej, yeah.
I was about to say Ches or Deej. I don't.
I
Again,
want to
like
put it in
sticks.
Deej because some of the best games for that console required sticks to be like seamless.
True, yeah.
Remember trying to to play platformers with only a D-pad?
Try playing
Oh my
Spyro
God.
with only a D-pad.
I
Yeah.
remember I tried once, and I said never again. And I started playing Spyro. And I was
Especially with these old controllers like these two, like those D-pads, after a long play session, those things hurt your thumb
oh, that hurt so.
so
You
bad.
used to see the center of the D-pad on your thumb at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Remember
The tip of your thumb is like dented in from the upward button.
Yes. Or when
Actually-
a D-pad would get stuck and your heart would sink, like, oh no.
Did you guys know that Nintendo used to sell playing gloves for the N64 because using the D-pad or the analog stick would hurt your hand, would air quote be uncomfortable after long periods of play.
Yeah.
Why that controller is the way it is, I will just never.
I
Ever.
love it so much, though. It's the ugly child of the gaming industry.
I like it too, which is the worst part, but it's just so bad.
It's the oh my god! Actually, I'm gonna send you something in the. I'm gonna send you a thing.
Oh no.
Keep going. Keep the video going. This is gonna be funny.
So,
Darvo, how do you feel about this one?
I think this is like the Switch Elite controller, right?
Yeah, isn't this like the
Yeah.
I've used one once and I'm just like, man, this feels like slightly less of a piece of shit, but
I see
bar
that
wasn't
they
that high.
tried really hard to go for the Xbox format, but they did like the Nintendo thing with it. It
You
kind
know
of
what it looks like? Do you guys remember going to like a sketchy mall shop and seeing the Turbo Genesis controllers that were
The
in
turbo
like the
anything
Mm.
controllers.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but I guess in our area it's mostly Sega stuff. But like the turbo controllers that were flat black plastic and were really awkwardly rounded forward for like no reason.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what these remind me of, and I'm just like, why? We left those in the past for a reason.
Like, so we're thinking like, because these are better than the Joy Cons by far,
Yeah,
but
again,
they're not.
bar's not set high.
But they're not Apex.
They're not even beer. I'll be honest. Let's
So
be
we're like in
honest.
Ches. Yeah.
I'm thinking Ches. Like, have you ever used
No.
whatever these things are? No.
I have never touched one. I have only been unfortunate enough to play on the standard base controller. I'm in a weird spot because I think it's cool that they have an upgraded option. I also think it's ridiculous that it needs an upgraded option.
Yeah,
The one
true.
thing I hate about them is that the buttons are so soft. I hate it.
The buttons are, would you say, not ribbed for your pleasure?
Let's go to the next controller.
All right.
That was an insider joke. I'm not that degenerate.
GameCube.
Slamming.
Slamming.
Slamming. I hate it. I hate it. You guys want to hear a testament to how good the GameCube controller is?
That they're still like $60.
The fact that you can still buy them for modern consoles.
Yeah.
Think about that. They have literally withstood the test of time, and it's not just a nostalgia thing. They work better than the damn controllers the consoles come with.
Works better than an Elite controller.
It's damn right. These things formidable too.
Oh, you
These
could throw that at 9 of your cousins and it would still work. That's how ballin' these controllers were.
fond memories of using this on Resident Evil 0. Oh, love it.
Actually, Adrian, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
Didn't Dee use those as a melee weapon one time when she attacked everybody?
Siege nuts. Yeah, she definitely did.
It still worked the next day after she caught her brother because he was the slowest one out of all of us.
And no, I remember we would whip them around by the cord at each other for a very long period of time before we realized we live in the middle of nowhere. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Because if they break, where are we going to get new ones?
Yeah. Let's go down to the general store that sells cap guns and what are they called? The baseball card bubblegum things.
Yeah, keep in mind, Darvo, this isn't when we're like in our hometown. This is when we're in our family's hometown, which is quite literally a village of like, at the time, maybe 100 people.
Oh,
Yeah.
In the
Hey.
middle of a lowered field.
Oh yeah.
The railroad tracks are higher than the field is.
The levee was higher than the field is. Think about that.
Yeah, that's the kind of place we were in, and we were just whipping our only 2 controllers at each other. No, we had 4, actually.
We had 4.
Yeah, we just didn't have a lot of things that used all 4 at the same time. But yeah, we were just destroying them, and then one day we're like, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't.
I'm gonna be waxing poetically all day about that shit. Let's get on to the next one.
Yeah, like I said,
Rest
that
in
one's
peace,
slamming. All
GameCube.
there is to
You
it.
forever missed.
Alright, so never use this. I don't even know what
Really?
this belongs to.
Oh my god, sacrilege!
Yeah, I don't even know what controller this goes to. Like, I don't know what
If
this
you had
is.
to guess, what console
Yeah.
haven't we covered? It's iconic. You'll have a high chance of getting this right. Just name one of the top 5 like most famous consoles ever that's not Xbox or PlayStation.
It's a Nintendo one, right?
A Super Nintendo one.
Super
you might say.
Nintendo.
Yes, sir.
Because I've used this, but not this.
Dude. Oh, I feel
kinda
attacked.
interesting.
Adrian, do you want to take the lead? Because I'm feeling assaulted at the moment.
I'm just gonna keep this one short and simple. It's classic. It's retro. It's got the look. It's got the style. This is the one controller where I actually don't mind that it has like corners.
Hard 90-degree right angle.
Yeah, that it will jab into your like crevices, your indents of your fingers. I don't mind that on this controller because it's small enough to compensate for that. I appreciate it. It reminds me of the Micro Game Boy Advanced, or the Game Boy Advance Micro. It's just a comfortable, relatable feeling. I like it. I would say, I don't know where I would put it.
We're thinking like
it's maybe an Apex. It's maybe a beer, actually. I don't know.
I would put it in Apex because I know everyone's gonna say, well, this company did this company did that.
I don't care about the other companies.
Well, for its time, it was limited technology-wise, but despite that, Super Mario and Yoshi's Island and all these other games that came out absolutely dominated not only the market at the time, the memories. It was very limited technology that became an icon. And while it wasn't comfortable, it got that job done.
I don't even think it was uncomfortable per se. It was just interesting. Like,
I have way bigger hands than you, though.
That's true. That was probably jabbing into you, huh?
It was not
for me.
I had to center it at the top seam under my knuckles so my fingers can hold it right.
Interesting. All right.
Wake up.
So we have two differing opinions. Would you say that B or beer is a good acceptable tier?
I'm fine with it being an Apex, if we're being honest. Unless you prefer it in beer, Mikey. That's fine as well. I feel I can go either
I'm okay with Apex because it is old. It is very old. And
like you said, for what it was good.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm fine with that. Cool. Now for this next monstrosity, this abomination to all that is holy.
Tensions are going to be high.
Dravo,
you know this one.
I have limited experience with this one because I had never owned one myself. It was always at a friend's house.
We've owned several.
I'm sitting next to a Hori tournament edition.
You do have a tournament one, that's right.
But
Sergio found a used Hori online that was broken, and he rebuilt it for the low cost of $8.99 in spare parts.
Yeah.
He got it for $12.
That man is...
He came up. He came up on that one.
Now, in my just the limited experience I have, I was not that big of a fan.
Okay, here's my question. Were you holding the left and right, or were you holding the center and right?
That's the thing. For some games, I was switching between it.
That's the right answer.
That's the wrong answer. What do you want about?
No, it's not. Mikey, not everyone has gorilla hands, okay?
Yeah, I can hold it from the center and still use the D-pad.
Everyone who's possibly listening to this, which, by the way, shout out to you. I respect the hell out of you. Mikey does this thing where he buys the bigger versions of controllers. They were the N64 color controllers. Here's the thing about those controllers. They're literally 3 times the size.
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't physically hold the controller. I still have issues with them. That's how big they are.
I bought the controller for me and DJ to play games.
I hate you. Those things suck. This is so much better than those other ones. And it's still uncomfortable to hold. That being said, I love it. It's not slamming, but in my heart it's slamming.
We're thinking Apex then?
I vote slamming.
Do you really?
I love it so much.
I love it too, but...
Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I definitely have this thing where it's like, okay, I had to switch between sides depending which game I was playing.
Yeah, that's just kind of how it is.
Actually, a point has been brought to my mind. The D-pad was criminally underrated, and I think it is ridiculous. Yeah, I think it is ridiculous that there's so many titles on that the D-pad was either useless or a hindrance to actually use. So, you might be right. That might be an Apex feature.
Yeah. I agree because, again, it's one of the best controllers ever.
And it
it's so
looks like an
unique.
X-Wing.
It does. It's so futuristic. It's the N64 controller. But at the same time, it's a monstrosity in all that's holy.
But hey, because of this controller, we got this controller. We got the GameCube controller.
Yeah,
Because
and
of that-
that's slamming.
Because of the 64, you got me. That's where it all started, baby.
Yeah, big facts.
Huh.
And by proxy, me. Like, oh
God,
my
that-
god.
Seriously, I got chills. Holy shit.
Alright, Dreamcast controller cheese tier.
I was looking like Deej tier or something.
I'm fine with Deej.
The Starship, I'm conflicted.
Can't
The
hold it.
Dreamcast, huh?
I can't hold it. It sucks. Deej tier.
The Dreamcast had some of my favorite games to ever exist, hands
Oh, yeah.
down.
Oh yeah,
But
Definitely.
that controller was a mess.
Yeah, that controller's a monstrosity.
great games.
Even more.
Controller, have what you use to play the games was a mess.
You know what this is? The Dreamcast controller is the EA of controllers. Great experience. Terrible interface.
You know what? I'd say Deej. You're right. If that had a better controller, I think the Dreamcast would have been much more successause. Because let's face
I
it,
would just say successful.
it did pretty good. Yeah, okay.
Pretty good. You even stalled on pretty good.
Because comparatively, the juggernauts it was facing. Yeah, because think about it this way: the Dreamcast was out roughly at the same time as the GameCube, the N64, and the PS2. Those are some titans to only be showing up at mid.
Yeah, and if I had a better controller,
It could have stand better.
exactly. Great experience. Terrible interface.
All right, I'm on to the next one. I'm gonna hurt myself if I keep thinking about that.
So this one,
We're talking about this.
this one's a little bit of a toss up for me because
Really?
it is fun. I would give it that. It's a fun control. It's a crazy idea. It's basically bringing like AR into your living room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm looking at either Apex or Slammin'. Because this is also, it kind of depending on what kind of thing you got. Because if you actually spent the extra money to get like modular stuff, like say those gun things.
No, you use these bitches raw. No grips, no holsters.
I mean,
no
that, you could do that too.
That's how I do it because I'm an animal.
Same. And we wouldn't even wear the wrist strap. If it flung out of our hands and smashed into a million pieces on the Mexican tile, so be it.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling A or S.
Mikey?
I want to say S for two reasons.
Okay.
The first being, like Brandon said, this is first gen AR. This is what really started to lay the groundwork towards hand tracking, hand controls, VR, and more interactive experiences for video games. This genuinely was like the first step towards bringing it into your home. Some of the accessories worked crazy well, and other ones didn't work all that well at all. But the titles, the fact that the demo disc that it came with, Wii Sports, has a cult following and will forever live in every gamer's memory.
That
should tell you
fucking
volumes of it.
Avatar menu music. The
Yes.
me menu.
The me
Exactly.
menu still lives on hard. That shit goes harder than
Yes.
some rock bands.
Exactly. I agree. That's why I was surprised this was contentious for you to talk about. I feel like this is a certified slamming. This is certified rigged for your pleasure. Like, honestly.
You know what? Yeah, I'm convinced. It's
Project Melody would
slamming.
Disagree.
I'm convinced. Yeah.
No names, fucko.
I have fond memories on some rail shooters on this thing.
Oh, I still
Right.
do. Yo, I bought Ghost Squadron on eBay.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you did.
It was $20, dude. The best $20 I ever spent. Oh,
pretty good.
Fucking Resident Evil Chronicles, fucking Dead Space.
Dead Space. Oh, you hit me with
That one was
Ouch, there.
really good. I love that.
Also, I got a quick question before we move on. Did anyone play Smash with or without the nunchuck?
I never got the
I did.
opportunity to play Smash.
I
So,
did with the nunchuck.
Did you ever try it without the nunchuck?
Yes.
Which one do you prefer?
Without.
My man, let's go. All right, next controller.
Next one.
Hold up, real quick.
Yeah.
I got to give a quick shout out to the greatest game, to the greatest 2 ports, 3 technically, but it's only 2 discs.
I'm gonna say 4 because I had reverse mode.
Well, okay. House of the Dead 2 and 3 came to the Wii.
Yeah.
The best light gun games ever made were a clean port. And then on a separate disc, you can buy a game called LA Machine Guns. Ultra rare. If you get your hands on it these days, you're sitting on a small gold mine. The greatest light gun game ever made, and they ported it to the Wii in HD with that stupid little controller handling it seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Out of this world.
And whoever stole our copy, I hate you and I want it back. Now.
I have a feeling I know, but I'm not getting into that on there.
Controller.
Okay, honestly, I think this is.
Let me talk.
I think this is literally just an improved PS2 controller.
I mean, how do you improve upon perfection?
I will say this.
Response
I do
time.
not like the new triggers.
Oh, yeah, true.
But-
Yeah, but triggers were a little weirder.
But you were right. It handled so much better. It was quick. It was seamless. It kept that smooth dynamic to it, and it still maintained a reasonable size.
Like, we don't talk about PS4. Screw that thing. This right here, I don't know, like S, because it's definitely better in terms of smoothness and response time. The triggers were a little weird though.
But I think it is slamming.
I think that'll be the lowest slamming on the list, but that's a pretty good bar to keep.
I agree. That's a low slamming.
Low slamming.
This isn't categorized in any way, but that is definitely the low slamming.
Alright,
like if there was an in between, that's where it would be.
Oh my god, slamming light.
Slamming
light.
That's my next superhero name for Masterminds.
You know, I'm so glad that we're on our last controller so that we don't have to revisit that joke ever again.
I'll be here all week.
Mikey, your thoughts?
I am at a bit of a crossroads, as I love these wired controllers for using on my PC, which I'm sure upsets a lot of people.
Yeah, it definitely does, let me tell you.
Fuck them. My one nitpick, if I had one, is their reliability. It seems like these little bastards break for no reason compared to the standard Xbox controller. Really I never understand why.
I mean, it's interesting that we've used so many controllers in our lives through multiple consoles, and I feel like we've gone through more of this than anything. Like, do you have any like
the one
of that, Darvo?
Oh. What you mean by that?
I feel like I don't know, because it's just a lot easier to go to wire controller as a kid. It makes sense. You don't have to get batteries all the time, so you don't have to ask your parents. And you know where they are, and it's easy to pass around. It's like a big deal, whatever. Everything's wired. I feel like we've gone through more of these wired controllers than literally any other one in our life.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. These things were fragile.
Yeah, it's so weird because like they never showed any signs of like slowing down. They would just go kaputs one day. Yeah,
like and compared to the other console that was around the time of the Xbox, the PlayStation 2, they were around side by side. Compared to the PlayStation 2 controller, which seemed invincible, this thing was fragile.
They almost were, if we're being honest.
Yeah, they almost were.
Barely starting to lose like its left stick, and I mean barely.
Yeah, those things were built to last, and these things were certainly not.
They were just built.
They were built.
Just built. Fuck, I actually have one that I still use, and it's starting to do the thing where your left analog stick's always going down for no reason.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's always the left analog stick. What's up with that?
Some angry dude on the assembly line just jamming them in.
It's the left analog stick and the right bumper. Those are the two worst buttons on a controller, and that's just a fact.
Seriously, how do the bumpers always break?
Especially for you, because you are not a bumper player.
No. Although that one bumper boxer who knocked me out of the last Soul Calibur 6 tournament, I'll come up
shout out to him for playing Raphael.
Ah, damn, that man was smooth. He was a fencer. That was a duelist right there.
Yes, sir.
Fuck. Put my power hitter ass out of the ring.
Anyways, what do we feel about this one? Because I genuinely have no strong opinions on this. This is the most okay controller I think I've ever used. And not in a great way.
Oh man, my chair is so broken I'm slowly rotating the synth.
I'm literally holding myself in place because I would be doing the same.
I'm
That's
in
the only
hackers.
I'm sitting like a dum-dum.
What are you thinking? Like,
I'm Fever D.
Ches, maybe? It's not as bad as these controllers. Let's be real.
Yeah. It functionally works. The reliability's not there.
Yeah, it works, but it just breaks easy. That's like the one complaint.
Gum of controllers. It's fantastic while it lasts, but it doesn't last.
Do we be generous and give it the beer because it is mad decent?
Like, yeah, I don't know.
But they just don't last.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't.
If it fixed that, it would be really fantastic.
Yeah, if they fix that, it would be at least a beer. Like, at least.
So, what, like, we're good with Ches?
I'm okay with Ches.
Is that, yeah? Are you good with that, Darvo?
I'm good with that.
Oh, man. That was a weird...
This looks horrible.
I feel like we especially in Deej tier, I feel like this is straight facts.
Oh yeah,
these facts.
Nobody can dispute Deej tier.
That's true.
And if anyone's going against slamming, I'm gonna fight him.
I'm not even worried about slamming. I'll stand by those decisions all goddamn day.
Slamming should just it shouldn't be contentious.
I know somebody's gonna fight us on that cheese tier of the first two for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
And those people probably don't have a driver's license, so I don't care.
Those people probably unironically play Smash, and that's all I'm gonna say about them. I think I'm okay with all of these actually. Now that I'm looking back at them, I really think I do.
I think I'm okay with it.
I'm good. I'm feeling very good about this.
I think this is the first tier list I've ever seen where I'm just like, you know what? Fair. It's strange that I helped make it. I don't know if that means I'm narcissistic.
I was like, being like, damn, I wonder if you made it. That's odd.
I mean, to be fair, the only things I said were slamming. I never really suggested anything else.
Man, I feel weird. Does it like? Is it affecting anyone else as much? Seeing like these childhood memories compartmentalized, and especially when you realize you definitely didn't. You definitely didn't suffer through Deej, unlike your friends who bitched and moaned all the time.
I remember our rich friends getting Wii U's and then none of them ever using it, so I don't feel left out.
Yeah, I'm literally glad that all but the Joy-Cons, because I own a Switch, all these other controllers, I only tried them once or twice. I never owned them. So I'm glad that I never got to have these as something in my possession, because these,
It's 2022. I still use a Duke, not for performance, but for principle.
It's novelty. Like, come on. It's classic.
Facts, I live with him. I can confirm.
If you kill somebody in Hunt Showdown with the Duke, oh,
you should
man.
just uninstall. They should just 100% uninstall the game, because that is the worst.
Spit in their eye, punch their grandmother. Like
that's worse than getting sniped with the quad derringer. And let me tell you, I know that from experience.
Oh, I'm building up the skills. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be sniping.
I want more people. Yo, if anyone who's listening still, what the? For anyone who's still listening to this, shout out to you. If you play Hunt Showdown, use the quad derringer.
Play Hunt Showdown, use Duke.
Gun. Use the quad derringer with a Duke. Buy a Duke. Spend $98 on Amazon Prime right now to get a Duke. Don't do that, actually.
20th anniversary.
It's a waste of money, but we know someone that was willing to waste that money.
To be fair, I don't know that I would call that person a person, but you know what? We're not going to get into that conversation right now.
We're gonna.
Anyways, I've been Siegeland. This has been Mikey, this has been Darvo, and this, above all, has been the No Skill Mess.